France is often held as an example when it comes to higher education, and for a good reason. While students in certain countries like the United States or the United Kingdom can graduate with thousands and thousands of dollars in student debt, French public universities remain remarkably affordable. A year in a French university can cost as little as 175 euros per year for a bachelor's degree, about 250 euros for a master's degree, and 390 for a PhD. And that's, again, per year. I mean, even if we're talking about private schools, it costs maybe around 6,000 to 18,000 euros per year. In France, higher education is pretty accessible to everybody to a certain degree, regardless of social background. So why are so many French students frustrated? I would see hundreds and thousands of posts of students complaining about getting rejected, waitlisted, uncertain about their future, because many didn't get the opportunity that they were aiming for. So in 2025, nearly 1 in 3 applicants on Mon Master, the national platform in France for students to apply for a master's degree, received no offer during the main admission phase. If education is so affordable and so accessible, why are so many French students terrified about their future? Why are thousands of people spending time refreshing the websites, chronically and obsessively checking their rankings, comparing the results to other students? France may have solved the problem of affordability, but it hasn't totally solved the problem of opportunity for all. France may be facing a completely different challenge. For decades, one of the country's biggest ambition was to promote what we call in French l'égalité des chances, equality of opportunity. The idea is that regardless of social background, everybody should have access to a higher education and afford to get a better life. And in many ways, I can say that France has succeeded. Most students graduate from high school, many students decide to go to universities and earn their bachelor's degree and eventually their master's degree. While access to education has expanded dramatically, opportunities haven't expanded at the same pace, especially at the master's level. Let's talk about that. In 2025, more than 250,000 students applied for a master's program on Mon Master. And in 2026, it hit a record high with like over 270,000 applicants. Meanwhile, the number of available seats has only increased by 1%. 1%. You do the math.
Actually, I made a mistake. I went back and checked my sources. The number of available seats did not increase by 1%. Unfortunately, it decreased by 13.5%. Applications, on the other hand, increased by 8%. So if you actually do the math, it's much worse. It's much, much worse. We're screwed. We're screwed, guys. We're screwed.
I mean, I stopped at my bachelor's level to take a little break. So it was a personal choice, but for many, it wasn't a personal choice. A lot of people my age right now who just graduated with their bachelor's are not gonna be having any masters this year or next year or the year after that. That is basically where the tension begins. And the issue is not only that there aren't enough opportunities, the extra issue here is that many students actually apply or choose the same opportunities, the same degree, the same master's program. Like everybody wants to do marketing, everybody wants to do computer science, everybody wants to do law. I know there are specifications when you do law, there are different categories, but it seems like everybody wants to do the same thing and there aren't enough available seats. I think like if my numbers are right, in 2025, programs in marketing and sales attracted over 60,000 students. Psychology attracted more than 14,000 students. And I think computer science also attracted about 14,000 candidates. In some master programs, the competition becomes even more unbelievable. One international master's program at the University of Paris 1, if I'm not mistaken, received over 3,000 applications for only 38 seats. It's too much. When you look at the acceptance rate for some master's program, it gives you chills. And the competition is no longer between strong applicants and weak applicants. It's increasingly between strong applicants and other strong applicants with excellent grades grades, great internships, and they did also some extracurricular activities. How do you compete with that? What's even more frustrating is not that students aren't having any options at all. Many students eventually receive an offer. Actually, statistically, they do receive an offer at least. There's also an additional admission phase, appeals, and alternative pathways. On paper, the system does provide a solution, but getting accepted somewhere is not the same as getting accepted in the program that you prayed for. And the students also understand how competitive the system is, and you can see it with the numbers, because in 2025, applicants submitted at least on average about 11 applications, and that statistic actually tells a story. If students felt so comfortable and so secure about their future, they wouldn't be applying to so many different master's programs. Like even me, I know I probably have only 2 to 3 master's degree that really appeals to me, like fits all my criteria, but I know that realistically I might have to apply to a random master's degree and gender studies, just we never know. Many conclude that the selection process is a little arbitrary. Imagine wanting to become a clinical psychologist. You spend years working on that very goal. You complete a bachelor's degree in psychology, you build your academic profile, and then you don't get into the master's program that you were aiming for. Perhaps you're offered a different specialization. Perhaps it's in a completely different city. You don't even know. You have no family there, no friends there, nothing. Perhaps it's not aligned with your career goals at all. I don't know, they probably tell you to do, well, you know what? We have a master's degree in forensic psychology or behavioral psychology. That has nothing to do with clinical, right? It's either you get a random degree sometimes or you don't get a master's program at all. And then in this country, in France, I'm sorry, but a bachelor's degree is not always going to take you very far. I know for a lot of Americans, like bachelor's degree, bachelor's degree experience, that's great. But in France, there is an expectation for you to finish your studies up until the master's. Like the master's is the bare minimum. It's like a high school diploma right now. So a lot of us are panicking because it's like, wait, but I need to go farther because I need a master's degree. That is the standard. That's the golden ticket in order for me to get a decent career in this country. So we did talk about students, right? So many students, thousands and thousands of students applying for just a few dozen seats. It doesn't sound familiar. Sounds like the job market, huh? Sounds like the job market. For years, especially recently, 2024, 2025, and this year, young people have been complaining about how tough the job market is. You see them sending dozens of applications, competing against hundreds of other candidates, building stronger and stronger resumes to stand out. Everybody is fighting for the same opportunities, which still feel extremely scarce. And you see that many students are feeling the exact same way about education. So the competition starts way before entering the workforce. It starts in school, in the market of education. So young people have to already worry about overcrowded industries, and many feel like they have to fight to access pathways before they can even begin the journey, so looking for a job. So what is the solution now? More places, more transparency, better career guidance? But I don't think there is a simple answer. France has spent decades lowering the financial barriers for people to access higher education. In many respects, I can say that it has been remarkably successful. I would still admit that I'm still grateful to be able to be student debt free. And I know that many obstacles that exist elsewhere, like maybe in America, because I know it's a privilege and luxury to study in America, the obstacles don't exist to the same extent here. Yet access and opportunity are not the same thing. As higher education expanded, competition didn't necessarily disappear. It shifted. Students are no longer competing for the jobs. They are competing for the programs leading them to that job. So perhaps the challenges that France faces today is simply not making education accessible, but make opportunity feel accessible.